Looky, looky, we got flowers sprouted. Today is Tuesday, and we just planted this stuff Friday? I think, yeah, Friday. And so we got 2 rows of flowers. They'll go all the way down on the outside of this fence, so that will be real pretty once it gets going. We have all of a sudden, seems like overnight or two, started having pest problems. And I want you to know that radishes, which I don't know if you're looking at them, radishes are actually a trap crop for aphids. I had noticed we had aphids on the peas, but they didn't seem to be bothering them. So I was hoping maybe the peas were a trap crop for them. And I started noticing them on the radishes. And so a trap crop means that you plant something, say like radishes, and it will be more attractive to some kind of pest than what you want, or than your other things. So let's say aphids like lettuce over here, because I have the radishes close by. They would rather get on the radishes. If they destroy the leaves, it's not that big of a deal because normally people are eating the roots of the radishes. So I'm going to pull one up and let you see. If it'll focus, can you see all those little aphids? Some are winged, some are not. Some are green. Let's see if it'll let me get up there. Some are green. They're super tiny. Some are black. They're very slow moving. They're somewhat easy like to wash off or spray off with water. If I remember correctly, really what they do is just they kind of suck the fluids out of your plants. They really don't do massive amount of damage. My main problem with them is that when they get on your greens, it's such a pain to wash your plants. Just, you know, before eating, you'll have bugs on it. So that's one of the reasons in the spring I never grow frilly. Like if I'm growing kale, it's going to be a smooth kale. It's not going to be a frilly edge kale, because if the aphids get up in all those ripples, you can really not get them all out. They're not so happy in the fall time, so I'd rather grow a roughly one in the fall when it's cooler temperatures, but in the spring, these will get in there. So I have noticed a stray one here or there on lettuce or something like that, but for the most part, every one of these radishes now are covered with aphids all over them. So that's good, and it's a natural thing that you can do. See, they're real slow moving. I'm gonna just get on my hand. Let's see if it'll focus. Come on. They're real slow moving. They're not just gonna, like, I don't know. If you go to mess with, if they're on the radishes, since they're so slow moving and everything, they're not gonna just like take over everything else real fast. They're happy here. So this is a good prevention, natural prevention in your garden. I'm actually going to stick that back by a radish so as it dries that they stick to the radishes. So I'm not too worried about the aphids as long as we're not having to wash them off of what we're eating, so they can sit there and be on the radishes. So I think for all the ones, or at least for most of them going to seed, I'm going to leave them right now just to be as a trap crop. Now yesterday, this is one I am concerned about. We also started getting flea beetles. That's not what I'm concerned about, but let me see if there's any flea beetles. So flea beetles will come in on, I'll show you, like this radish, and they'll put all these tiny little holes. They just, you know, it's not like they kill your plants. It just makes it not real pretty. But these super, hold on, I gotta move my legs. Hold on. It just makes it where it's not real pretty, and like the radishes, normally it wouldn't matter. Even on the greens, if it's like that, it's not that big of a deal. I normally don't mess with the flea beetles. I normally try to avoid actually killing bugs as much as possible, because if you leave them, their natural predator will come in when there's an abundance of them, and then they'll make home because they have a buffet there, and they will take care of it yourself. Flea beetles, sometimes I'll spray something, any kind of, if you made like a strong tea of mint tea or catnip, something like that, that kind of deters them. And that's actually not really an option for me right now because I'm so reactive to smells. But this is the big guys that I'm not willing to play with. Let me see. So you can see on our collards right here, we're getting a lot of damage. Let me see if I can find the buddies that's doing it. I don't know if you'll be able to see what's happening. There's one right there. Come on, focus. Let's see if there's a little caterpillar right there. This is a cabbage moth caterpillar. Cabbage moths are a white moth that you will see flying around all your stuff. They've ate up on this one pretty good, but it'll grow new leaves as long as we can keep the caterpillars away from it. But yesterday I saw several. Let me see if I can find them to show you a good. Well, there's one right. Let me see if I can get you right there by my finger. It's not letting me focus on it. Let me focusing on the ground. Let me just pick it and have it in my hand. Maybe it'll focus in. All right. So as they grow, they end up developing more of that white, black, spotted coloring. They're kind of a transparent greenish. When they newly hatch, the eggs are yellow and they stick to the back of your leaves, and then they hatch out, and they can do some massive damage. So that is something I will definitely squish and take care of. Look for the eggs and try to get rid of them. I actually probably will spray something for these. There's one right in there. I don't know if you can see it, but they often come quickly and devour overnight, and that's kind of what it seemed, you know, for this little patch here. I'm not seeing it sit down there yet, but this little patch of collards right here, it was like overnight that they kind of came in and they're hurting it. There's one on that leaf. I don't know if you can see it. So that's something I'm not going to play with. Like I said, I normally leave stuff, but these can be so devastating. And as they grow, just a day or two, their hunger really takes over. And so what we will probably do is spray soapy water with neem oil in it. Neem oil doesn't hurt your beneficial bugs, which most things, even diatomaceous earth, things like that people normally use in the garden, they hurt your beneficials. And so that's another reason why I don't like to use stuff, even natural stuff, if it's going to hurt your beneficial bugs, because your beneficials will take care of your problems for you. So I try not to ever use things like diatomaceous earth, even though it's natural and it's good and it works. I don't want to kill my good bugs. And so one of the things we'll do normally for pest control is soapy water. So for squash bugs, I guess I should turn you around. I hadn't got ready today. I just got pulled out of the bed to go save that duck. So don't look too hard at me. We'll get just a spray bottle of water, and we will put dish soap in it. It can be a natural dish soap. It doesn't matter. We use 7th generation. And if it's a smaller body animal, just a few, tiny, little 2-3 squirts. If it's a bigger body animal, still 2-3 squirts usually, but really big, squeezes, squirts. And it covers the outside of their body, and they can't breathe and they die. So it suffocates them. So if it's something like squash bugs and things where you're seeing them, you just spray them with that. It'll kill them. Same for even like Japanese bean beetles, except for them trying to fly away. Actually, what we'll do is come out with a cup of water and just knock them into that, and that'll kill them right away. But it works on most garden pests, and it dries up and it doesn't affect anything else. So that's my number one thing that I normally do. But for the cabbage worms, this is our first year actually having the neem oil. We got it because of ticks. So we're going to add that to it because I know it doesn't hurt the beneficials, but it will also repel pest bugs too. So hopefully that will add the extra, like the moths won't even like it over here, and they'll just not even lay their eggs, and we won't have that problem. So that's what we'll probably end up doing. But like I said, I normally try to avoid actually even using anything, because I've had before where I get a pest problem and it was like on a Sabbath or something where I couldn't go out and deal with it, and wasps will find them. The one time it was lettuce loopers, and they were like just devouring my lettuce. It was like they were just wilting and melting, and I noticed all these wasps flying around, and I was like, what are they doing? And the next morning when I could deal with it and I went out, they were gone. And I watched this wasp, and he was flying around, and he came down and he got him a lettuce looper. So if you will leave them, even though you have the day or two or more of damage to your garden, your bugs will come in and they'll take care of it for you, and then they will constantly be coming to check that area for bugs because that's what they want to eat. Same thing as if you had an apple tree, you'd be walking around checking it every day, seeing if there was ripe apples. And anyway, so that's the actual best way, because then you might have had a little bit of damage, but then it'll recover. Now when it gets where it's starting to look like it's not going to recover, I don't want to push it that far, but normally that's not what happens, except for with squash bugs. That's always a deal with, because they will take over your whole garden. But anyway, so I thought we had some leaf miners. Yeah, we do. Let me grab this leaf because I don't think you'll be able to see it. Leaf miners, come on, focus on my hand. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it real good. You see those little tunnels within the leaves? That is a leaf miner. It actually gets in between the top layer and the bottom layer of the leaf, and it's not wanting to focus. Come on. And it makes little tunnels. Really, normally it just makes it ugly, but I had one year where we couldn't eat the leaves because they kept having bugs inside, and you couldn't get them, washing them out or anything because they were within the 2 layers of the leaf, and it was a pain. But it's on my radishes right now, so it's not a big problem. I'll have to research ways to repel them. I'm sure the neem oil will probably work on that too. But that one is a pest, just more than just a pest in the garden, just because they can have actual worms inside the leaves, and you'll see them, and not be able to get them out. So that one's a pain pest. But anyway, so hopefully the neem oil will work really good. But anyway, that's what we got going on. So parsley's getting their first set of true leaves. Got lots of parsley coming up. Now this is that Kumatsuma spinach mustard. You can see all the little polka dots on the leaves. That's from flea beetles. So the Mizuna's coming up. It also has some flea beetle damage on it.
Look at all this.
But they'll be all right. They'll keep growing, and the first set of true leaves, as they grow actual leaves, they'll stand better than the other leaves to the flea beetles. Let me see if I can see a flea beetle.
Mama.
All right, so I found a flea beetle. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get the phone to show it too well, because if I touch the leaf, nope, he just jumps. Ah! Well, you didn't get to see him. Let's see if I can find another. Well, flea beetles are real tiny and they're super fast if you scare them, and I'm not seeing any more. So I'll show you. We got fennel starting to come up, so that's exciting. Fennel is supposed to be a bad companion plant. It's supposed to inhibit other plants. I'm hoping it's not a problem having it that close to that stuff and this close to our new flowers and herbs. So we put chives on this section. We alternated chives and sunflowers. It's a dwarf sunflower, so it'll probably be a foot or two tall. So that'll be real pretty here. And then up there we alternated with a dwarf aster that's pink and a dwarf cosmos that's a pinky burgundy. And then we got our thyme and oregano and sage. So it all the way down, I'll alternate those flowers and those herbs. So they'll be pretty. But Micah wants to show off his arugula. His arugula had some flea beetles before. So you can see the little holes in his stuff. And his leaves turn yellow too. But now they're starting to get some nice green leaves. And he's wanting to come in right now with some compost and manure and go around them a little bit and give them a little boost and give them something different than just the mulch. The wood chips. All right, so this is our tomatillo. They're starting to get, they were like real tiny for a long time, but they're starting to grow. But this one's also, the flea beetles have got on that one. Let's see if it'll focus, and got holes in the leaves, but they'll keep growing. They'll be all right. Actually, this tomatillo that's right beside it, they haven't touched it at all. So it's, I don't see any marks on it. So that's interesting.